I've said it before in the channel, and I'll say it again. Modern Hollywood does not know how to write women. If you want a real badass woman who's not afraid to slice and dice her way into justice, you need to watch exploitation films.
Oh, God! Oh, look what she's done to me!
Welcome to the Grindhouse, motherfucker. Welcome to Exploitation Reviews, and me, Rob. Today I'm taking a look at I Spit on Your Grave from 1978. And hey, before we get started, tickle that subscribe button for me. It'll really help me out. Besides, if you like this kind of movie, then, oh boy, do I have things to show you. I Spit on Your Grave is a rather infamous rape revenge film, and it follows the same plot structure as pretty much every other rape revenge film. We get the intro that introduces the characters, we get the assault, we get the recovery, and then we get the revenge, and then we're out. That's it. And because these stories are so formulaic, there will be spoilers in this review, so if you want to see exactly how the guilty boys get their deservedly bloody ends, then go watch the movie first. I'll be here when you get back, and then you can finish me off. Alright, I'm going to try to keep my sarcasm in check here. Considering the subject matter, it's pretty hard to make tasteful jokes. We'll see how that goes. Like many rape revenge films, part of the horror here comes from the power difference between men and women, but like Deliverance that came before it, another aspect of the horror here comes from the city-country divide. Like plenty of Hicksploitation films, part of the horror here are the Hicks. They're not like us city people. These are people outside the realm of civilization and are thus uncivilized and untrustworthy. You can trust a city man. They shave and put on a suit and go out, and you can tell by this that they have bought into the social contract that keeps our society humming. But a stubbly, unwashed layabout, he's not following the rules. You can't trust people who don't follow the rules. Jennifer travels from her big city to the country. She's a writer and she wants some peace and quiet to work on a novel. She stops for gas and meets a few of the locals. Later, she orders some groceries and they're delivered by Matthew. And Matthew, he suffers from an intellectual disability. Don't make me say it.
Could I be your friend? Anytime you need, you just call me and I'll be here super fast.
Matthew knows the guys that were hanging around that gas station, and he tells them that he saw Jennifer's boobage. He's not entirely truthful here, but, you know, men exaggerate. They tease him about being a virgin, and then later when they go fishing, they sit around and talk about how city women are all looking to get laid. Don't country women want to do that too? I don't know. I don't live in the country. I live in a really big city. The next day, two of the men annoy Jennifer with the sounds of their motorboat, and the day after that, they get more aggressive when she's out on her boat. They drag her to a secluded location. She runs away and runs right into Johnny. He rips her top off and then shouts into the bushes.
Broad's all yours. Come on. Come on. Not now.
Matthew's there too? This looks like it was planned. The group wants Matthew to fix his virginity problem, but he can't perform. Johnny can. And after Johnny, they allow her to escape. But she runs into them again, they throw her over a rock, and one of the guys busts into her back door. I'm speaking in euphemisms here, and I know they sound so much worse than just saying directly what's happening, but if I say directly what's happening, YouTube will get mad at me. So really, if you think about it, they're the bad person here. Yeah, let's go with that. Jennifer drags herself to the house, but something is afoot. Oh shit, the jump scare is afoot. Yeah, the men were waiting for her. Two of them haven't had a go yet, you see, and after some liquid courage, Matthew can perform. And then in one of the film's more mean-spirited scenes, the men mock Jennifer's writing. And then the fourth and final man gets ahead of the game.
I'll take it!
The group sends Matthew in to kill Jennifer, but he can't perform that either, but he lies to them, and they're off. And wow, this whole assault scene is like 30 minutes beginning to end. That's a really rough 30 minutes. A few weeks pass, Jennifer recovers, and then we get to the fun part of the movie. Murder. She orders some more groceries, Matthew gets nervous, Jennifer tricks him into thinking they can have consensual sex, and then... Yeah. Now, you might be thinking, well, wait a minute, Matthew is "don't make me say it." Can we really hold him responsible for what he did? And the answer is, yeah, we can. And the reason is, the immorality of rape is so basic, it's so fundamental, it's so easy to understand that even a person who "don't make me say it" should be able to understand this. So yeah, he gets what's coming to him. Next is Johnny, the leader. Jennifer holds him at gunpoint, but then seems to be convinced by his arguments that it wasn't so bad, and she offers to draw him a bath. What? Yeah, well, let's see where this goes. Well, it turns out our girl knows what she's doing.
Oh, God.
Yeah, that is so badass. Finally, it's the two who were annoying her with their boat and initially kidnapped her. She tortures one by not letting him swim to the shore. Eventually his friend jumps in to try to help him, and now both of them are in the water. And then one of them gets the axe. And the last one, well, his words are gonna come back to haunt him.
Suck it, bitch.
That's it. We get a little smile, and she sails off into the sunset. So let's talk some highlights. This is an effective piece of horror filmmaking right here. It's brutal and unflinching, and in my mind, it reminds me a little bit of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. They both have this kind of gritty realism that draws you in, and I really like that. I really like movies that are not afraid to really torture the audience. I know it's not for everyone, but it is for me. I mean, this movie is trying to make you uncomfortable, and it will succeed. I also really like how Jennifer is able to overcome these men. If you watch a modern Hollywood movie, particularly one of these action-y movies that purport to be based in some sort of realistic universe, you'll find that they completely abandon realism when it comes to the fighting powers of small women. Don't get me wrong, I'm sure there's some women out there who really could throw down in a fight, but at a certain point, physics is going to have something to say about how these fights play out. I mean, take me for example. I'm not in particularly good shape, and I've only been in a handful of bar fights, so I have limited experience, but I'm 6'4", over 250 pounds. There's no way in hell I would fight a guy my size. I would get my ass kicked, and I am a guy my size. What are the chances that a skinny woman could take me in a fist fight? 0. I'm gonna go with 0 chances. Modern Hollywood will say something different, and that's one of the reasons I don't like modern Hollywood. They don't know how to write women. I Spit on Your Grave does. Jennifer knows she can't take these guys in a fist fight, so she uses what she has. She's way smarter than them for one, and that's gonna help. But what really helps is she understands their psychology well enough to manipulate them into their deaths. And that's really cool. And I guess this is where the film does maybe flirt with being misandrist. Maybe. I mean, look what the gang leader says when he's at gunpoint.
No guilty conscience?
Come on, this thing with you is the thing that any man would have done. You coax a man into doing it to you, and a man gets the message fast. And look, whether he's married or not, a man is just a man.
What is that trying to say? It might not be saying great things about men. I don't know, maybe. In fact, I have read one commentary on this movie that said if it had been made by women, we would see it as an anti-men movie. I don't know if that's true, but maybe. What I do know is true is I absolutely love the bath scene that happens after that gunpoint scene. In a certain sense, it's like the reverse of the shower killing in Psycho. I mean, here the victim gets the knife, and instead of a bunch of stabbing, it's one quick flick, and then all that's left is the bleeding and the dying. Oh man, and then Jennifer rocks in a chair and listens to opera and screaming. Oh, savage. I mean, there are a lot of questions surrounding this movie. Is it misogynistic? Is it misandrist? Is it feminist? I don't know. I don't know. It might not be that deep. But I do think the film works, and it works because the morality is in the right place. I mean, rape is one of the worst things that people can do to each other. And if you're in a situation where you can't trust society to get the kind of justice that you deserve, take it yourself. I'm cool with that. But this might also be where the film perhaps is not perfect. And, normally at this point I make a joke about shortcomings, but I'm not going to do that this time. But let's talk about some shortcomings. Well, one of the main features of revenge films is the revenge is justified because society can't be trusted to get justice. So it comes on to us, the normal people, to get justice. In societies with corrupt judges and evil police officers, and we can't trust these people. But this isn't really the case here in I Spit on Your Grave. Jennifer makes no attempt to involve the authorities. She goes straight to murder. Which, okay, there's something to be said for that, but I do think these revenge films work better when there is a stronger justification for the revenge. But don't worry, this issue is fixed in the remake of this movie with the introduction of their sheriff character, and oh my god, his introduction justifies that movie's existence. But I'll talk about that movie in another review. For now, the OG I Spit on Your Grave is a classic for a reason. I do recommend watching it, even though obviously it's not for everyone. And it does have some of those production issues typical of low-budget horror films of the 70s with bad audio on occasion. But you get used to these kinds of things, it's no big deal. Still, nearly 50 years later, this film still has the power to shock, it has the power to impress, and it has the power to make me really happy to see horrible people die bloody.